Mistake 3. Too much, too soon. Now, I used to live in a house, and I had a housemate, and she basically said to me, listen, it's come to the new year, and I want to do something about my weight. So therefore, do you know what? I'm just going to go for a jog. I'm going to do 5k. It's like, what? Really? Yep, I'm going to do 5k. I need to do it. I need to do this weight. But I said, what? You haven't even walked 5k for how long? It's like, you're going to go and jog 5k? I mean, you haven't been out of the house in 6 months. But she said, no, I said it, New Year's resolution, so I'm going to go and do it. Yep. Not done much of the thinking or the planning or whatever, but again, that was her thing. But who am I to say that she can't do it? So about half an hour later, my other housemate's bringing her back in in his car. She didn't make it too far, and that's because you got to understand is you've got to make sure that you're in pain now. Remember we said about pain. You're in pain now. I don't want to be here. I'm not happy with my weight. I'm not happy with the way I feel. I just hate how I am now. I hate all these health conditions I'm potentially having and taking all these tablets and things. I hate this. Yeah. So you're in pain now. You do not want to link up physical activity with more pain. You want it as pleasurable as possible so that the change can take place. Yeah? You don't want to have a position where you're in pain now and then you do something that has more pain, because it's just not going to last. You're not going to change like that. And a load of people do this. They train too hard, they're in pain the next day, and they think, no, it's too painful. That's what. Listen, you're motivated by two things: towards pleasure and away from pain. Now, at the moment, you're making a decision on, I want to get away from pain that I'm in now. Yeah, but if you go to another place where there's more pain, then you ain't going to do that either. Yeah, your brain's going to go, which is the easiest of these things to do? I can either go for a run and experience pain, or I can do nothing and be how I am, exactly here. I can sit in my warmth. I can look outside of the snow and say, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm going to look outside of the rain and go, yeah, glad I'm not going out there. What a stupid idea that is. So you can do that. So your brain's going to go, which of those two am I going to do? Yeah, I think I'll stay inside with the warmth. Thank you very much. And so that is why you need to have it so that you are not doing too much too soon. You have your baseline level, so you're where you are now. Remember, in your outcome, where you are now specifically, and then what you want to do is progress from there. Everybody has their own starting points. Yeah, you don't have to compete with people in the gym or say, oh my God, that person's running on the treadmill next to me, or that person's running around the park, or whatever. You are there for you and your own personal health. It's nothing to do with anybody else. As long as you know you're progressing, then that's fine. So it's about constant and never-ending improvement. And that's what you want to do. So how much is too much? So here's the Mind Body Project Physical Activity Diary. This is one I filled in and done when I was doing my detox. And you can go and get this. This is free to go and get from, just go on the Mind Body Project website, and there's a depression and anxiety course, a free course, and on that course you can go and download as many of these physical activity diaries as you want. There's food diaries there as well. Go and get them. Yep, they're absolutely free. And on this, let me just change this. So up here, so we've got easy. So there's easy activity, which involves very little effort. So sedentary lifestyle. So you're doing not really a lot of things. So maybe normal walk. Yeah, normal walk. Bowling, snooker. So these are easy activities. So not really doing that much at all. Maybe sitting on the computer or laptop like I'm doing now. That's sort of easy activities. Moderate activities is where you're slightly out of breath, but can still talk. So brisk walking. Yeah, so steady swimming, so cycling, dancing, housework. So you can do singing while you're doing the housework, or gardening, or golf if you're brisk walking between shots. So moderate activity. Now that's really recommended, especially when it comes to cardiovascular health. So it's really recommended because that is it. The other thing is as well, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel really, really good. It's good for the brain, good for especially those with depression. It's absolutely really good because it gets feel-good chemicals going around the brain and the body. You start feeling really good. Then you've got the hard activities. So, for example, here at the gym. So when I go to the gym, I work pretty hard. I've tried to work moderately, but I just can't do it, man. I just need to go to the gym. I need to really work out hard. And so these involve so really going hard at it. So this might be jogging pretty fast, or aerobics, or football game, or rugby, sprinting. This takes lots of effort, or heavy lifting, and this is really hard. Now, depending on who the person is, dancing might go up too hard. Yeah, that might be a hard activity. So depending on who it is, it might be a hard activity. Housework might be a hard activity. Yeah, so it depends on the person, depends on who you are. But the way to look at moderate activity is slightly out of breath but can still talk. There's also a scale that you can use called an RPE scale, which I'm going to come on to later, and that's rating of perceived exertion. And what you want to do is make sure if it's moderate, you don't want to go any higher than a 6. So you think to yourself, right, 10 is absolutely, I'm dying here. Yeah, and you can't talk because it's just so intense. Nor is I'm asleep. This is so easy, it's just so easy. Yeah, when it comes to around about a 6, no more than a 6 is moderate activity. Yeah, that's where you want to be for that. If it's hard, you're going to be working between maybe 8, 9, and sometimes even 10. When it's easy, any lower than a 4, 3 or but around about 3. 3 is easy. So that's another way you can do it. And as I said before, so you do not. The reason why you want to make sure things are, especially at the start, if you haven't done any exercise at the start, you want to make sure that you're doing things pretty easily at the start. You want to be doing, not duration wise, some people can't even do half an hour. They can't even do half an hour on walking on the treadmill. Some people can't do that. That's hard for them. That might be hard for you. So you don't want to be doing that, because what you want to avoid is neurologically linking physical activity with pain. Now, plenty of people have done this because when they've gone into school and the PE teacher, like mine when I was younger, would absolutely really take you to task with running and doing cross country. So people are linking up physical activity with pain. That's because they were training too hard. It was really hard for them. Yeah, it may be hard for you. So what you want to do to avoid this is you want to start really easy. Yeah, you want to do it. You want to create it so that, yes, you've got pain now. You want to get away from this pain of how you look, how you feel, all the drugs that you're having to take, maybe the depression or whatever. But then you want to create it so that physical activity is now pleasurable to you. I had an operation on my shoulder, and 5 days later, I'm in the gym. Now, why would I do that? I wouldn't do if I was getting pain from the gym. There's no way I would be going in 5 days after an operation. It's because I think it's so pleasurable that's the reason why I would go to the gym. Yep. Many people have things that vehicles they were used to get pleasure. So if they're in a bad mood, especially with depression, I'll have to say this. Teach people this with depression is that they maybe go to some alcohol or drugs or whatever it is, smoking, to get some pleasure. And because they haven't got physical activity as a choice, because they perceive it as painful because they've been doing it too hard. It's neurologically linked up, so physical activity is painful. And the reason why that's happened is because there've been somewhere along the line in the past, it's been linked up to pain, and you need to make it so that exercise is easy enough so you can do it and not feel pain. So what happens after a regular exercise, for a little while after doing that, you're going to feel pleasure. There's no one who's done physical activity for a long period of time and says, I feel painful as I'm doing this. They all say, I love doing this. I love the feeling I get. That's what everybody long term, if you're doing long term physical activity, you are loving the pleasure that you get from it, because you feel really good. You feel energetic, you feel pumped up, you feel that your brain's working, you feel like you're more alert. And that's because of the other amazing benefits is that you will probably want to eat healthier. You're going to take in more oxygen, which is really good for especially disease, and then you're having more fluids, which again, most people are dehydrated. If you're drinking more fluids, then you're going to have more you're going to feel better as well. You're going to have more energy, more life force energy as well. So there's so many good things for physical activity that and behaviors that it causes, that it's so, again, as the former chief medical officer says, if physical activity was a drug, it would be hailed as the miracle cure. And that's how you want to perceive physical activity.